Beautiful day, beautiful evening once again on a Monday, the first day of the month of March. Hello and welcome. What a beautiful time to start the beginning of March. A couple of things to take center stage, of course, on this on this Monday, the month of March. The year is 2021. It's going to be a beautiful show. One thing I can assure you of that, and if you're joining us on different platforms, it could be on your scooter and it could be on your YouTube, where you are right now, on your Facebook page, wherever. Do sit tight. It's going to be a lovely show and a beautiful show. We're going to be in the company of a well-known administrator in the local sports, that is the Eswatini Football Association President, Adam Bomba Mtsetwa. But in this time, he's going to be mostly as one of the candidates running for the hot seat in the Olympic movement. We're going to hear the ins and outs. But we'll take a chance and then maybe a short route and then just talk to him about his visit in the recent days. He was in the Republic of South Africa when CAF candidate Patrice Motsepe was, releasing the CAF 10 points that he's going to be focusing on if he gets elected. He was honored to be there and he's going to share with us as Eswatini would say, engabe kuhambe njani. He was also part of the meeting that was taking place when the under-20 was announced that it could be given a chance to be hosted in the Kingdom of Eswatini. So it's going to be here live on Eswatini TV. Do not change the channel. Do not watch any other thing. This is the place to be. Otherwise, one other athlete that we haven't spoke to quite for a long time, that is one well-known athlete who once also gave this country a golden medal. That is Eric Sayama. She's based in Pretoria. She's going to be talking to us through Zoom later on once Mr. President is out of the studio. Otherwise, it's going to be also a lovely show later on. Our in-house analyst, Linda Dlamini, is going to be in the house. We'll wrap up the whole talking points with President and, of course, with Eric Sayama. President Sigmugele already in the studio. You're not a guest for the very first time. We've had you for a couple of times. I think 2018, you're here in the studio. Live with me, we're talking about the issue of the head coach and Kwatsina Wenrula, Sapinza Satibana. I think prior to that, the 50-50 celebration, you had a message for Emaswatega Kurugati Epoleni. This is becoming a norm. Whenever we approach you, the invitation, you always honor it. Sugumugere President.
Siyabonga kakhulu sivusele netibukeli. The Eswatini TV.
Yes. Ngiyathi ukuthi everyone who's watching a TV now, who just opened the TV, lo mbuto lesokhona ukuthi engabe kuba khona kwa president e-studio kusho ukuthi iphula ibuyile. Cha, asikhulume ngale ndzaba leyo. President akete kusitshela ukuthi iphula ibuyile. President akete kusitshela ukuthi sihlangu engabe sithole emalini akete lokho cha. But maybe nasethi khona lithuba singambuta ukuthi bathole emalini. President akete kusitshela ukuthi mhlawumbe somhlolo sewuphelile yini, sewusolo under construction. President akete kunetinye timvo letendekako ikakhulukathi kuMtemidlalo. President ula for that specific reason. But when time allows, we can add those questions. President, bokhona Republic of South Africa kule invitation ya Patrice Motsepe. Now khuluma ngathi indzaba thabo 10 CAF points. I think singaqala nje ukukhuluma ngalolu hambo President ukuthi meeting the man in person sikhuluma ngemuntu lonjani Patrice Motsepe. Na ubuka nje le vision elayo singasho ukuthi wena President you are one of lama African president labahlele kakhulu ku CAF. You know the expertise and the ins and out. You're one of the lama leaders lahlele kakhulu. Na ubona umuntu ofana na Patrice Motsepe angena as a candidate. Kusho ukuthini kuwe? Ngafishana nje President.
Ngiyabonga sometimes kukhona ukukhuluma ngemuntu kepha ke lapha kucele khona is that sibe nemhlangano kwa COSAFA i-AGM 2 weeks ago lapha khona we honored ukuthi kube na FIFA president among us kulo mhlangano. And at the meeting kwaba khona ekuthenini kunema candidates coming from COSAFA lamele the CAF presidency lokumphathisa Mtsipe doctor, and then kunema officials from Botswana, Lesotho, Angola and Mozambique lamele a CAF executive committee member. There are 2 positions, 4 candidates for that. And then Gune from COSAFA two were president waseMalawi newaseZambia lebamele lukhetho lokuba ngema-FIFA council members.
True.
So ke kule agenda yemhlangano yakwaCOSAFA bekukhona lokho ukuthi ekugcineni lama candidates anikwe i-chance of presenting themselves kule COSAFA membership. Lokwafaka ekhathi Dr. Patrice Motsepe, who's standing for the CAF presidency position. And then that was done. All 6 of them were given that chance of presenting themselves
to
the COSAFA membership. And then thereafter, Gwabana Lapa, where Dr. Motsepe bega presenter kona his manifesto. What now you call the 10 points,
yes,
that he was addressing. Babuti, should he be given the chance of heading African football? This is what was in his vision to do.
And we had him recognizing your presence, the Kingdom of Eswatini president, and I think it was a good thing knowing that he could understand that you were in the house, you were part of the event.
Yes, I felt a bit flattered by that, but we know each other.
True.
Know through this campaign because he was he was involved. He's involved with Sundowns, and we meet now and then. But I felt a bit honored to and for him to mention our country, the manner in which he did it. Yes.
President ukhuluma ukuthi he honored us. Of course, let's also take this opportunity to kusikhumbula ukuthi he also took a chance also to acknowledge and also honor His Majesty King Mswati III during his speech. I think it also was written later on in one of the publications, which is a thing that shows that he actually acknowledges the country. Now, you also maybe singa phumeka khulu kulendzaba yeCOSAFA during the COSAFA meeting, the issue of under 20. It was maybe quickly before we move on, the issue of us hosting under 20, it was put on the table that we are given a chance. And I think Maswati at this point in time are thinking, wow, here's a major tournament to host, in as much as it's under 20, but it is a tournament. Nasibuka tinkundla tethu president, narukutsi lithuba selikhona, maybe who knows, you could be in the office by that time, or you could not, but nawubuka nje through your expertise, what does it mean for Maswati ukuthi si host under 20? Narukutsi si ready in as a country.
Yes, I think what has happened with Lama COSAFA competitions is that gune category lokwavunyelwa nakuyo ukuthi itawurotate. Not that mhlawumbe safaka i-application to host. So after ibe hosted by South Africa for the few years, the rotation starts under 20 Eswatini. And yes, we are the next to host in code because we still have to consult in the normal way with government and look at the implications in terms of financial resources. You were mentioning Emma stadiums and all these kind of things. But Lama Stadium is now, if some Mhlolo, Mavuso are available for under 20, Lama stadiums are kulungele ukuthi angakhosta lokho. But ipoint umuntu lebeka ngayisho ngiloko ukuthi kuyarotate and Swaziland is next, and we've just been given the information, the brochure to be able to host. These are the things that have to be put in place. So we'll be in consultation with government, and we've been given up to end of March to indicate whether we'll be in a position to host or not. But our wish as a football association is to host the competition because you know Maswati Tanzipo, and the last time we hosted him under 20 is quite a long time, and we'll all be excited.
to host such a tournament. Yeah, quickly, President, in the interest of time, maybe I just want us to run away from these issues quickly so that we move on with other topics. Part of the manifesto, there's the issue that touches on development of women football, and I think as President, as President, as in general, part of the issue is now still a developing country, both in football and otherwise, but in women football. What did you get from comment here, Mr. Motsepe, women football?
I think the issue of women's football, football corridors is always there. At FIFA, you know that FIFA has invested $500,000 in women's football. And CAF, already there's something that is being done by CAF regarding that. And we are excited that everyone that talks football is touching the issue of women's football. But we're excited about that. And Sea Football Association, we do have a program. And we're in consultations with Lama clubs that are involved in women football and developed a strategy that had to be sent to FIFA to approve. And then after that, start on that kind of thing.
All right.
And having said that, there's the point of, women's football in Swaziland, yaqala yaba organized ahead of everyone else.
True.
But unfortunately, sebas overtaken. And umuntu lekangakusho is that if you were to look around Africa, you may find that maybe we're the only country that have a structured league and structure for women's football. Yes, unfortunately for us, it's happening with other countries.
True.
But there's the issue of culture, convincing my parents that
women can excel,
girls can play football and all that kind of thing. But we are getting there.
All right.
Yes.
President, there's a lot to talk about. If we only stick with football, then we won't also get a chance to ask you other things that actually mainly brought you here. But we're trying to squeeze in time to make sure that we also get chances to ask you other questions. Mr. Adam Bomamtsepa is running as one of the Eswatini Olympic Commonwealth Games Association hot seat of president, and he's not a new face within that association. He once served as the vice president. You correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. President. He once served as a VP. Now he's running as president. We're not giving him a platform to campaign. This is a thing we've been doing to all candidates, to give them a chance to express what they would seek to do. What they would seek to do for the Olympic movement. What do they want from that seat? I think recently, last week, we talked to Pel Dlamini under the VP post. Now, today, we're talking to Babu Mtetwa under the post of president. Babu Mtetwa, what do you think about the nomination? And I think you being a president of football in Nyalo, if you are to be elected that side, it's not something new to be president for you, but the office, the environment will be different. You were once there as VP, but now you'll be there. The reaction on your nomination itself, President?
Yes, I think by now everyone knows that I've been nominated and accepted the nomination.
Yes.
And so that maybe I can be within the rules, as you have touched on it, is that I have accepted the nomination.
True.
And I've been asked this question kulamanye forums, and my position regarding the vision that I might have for the Olympic Committee was that yes, I have accepted the nomination, and I've read my answers or comments from my colleagues who are also running for positions, not necessarily the presidents, but everyone else, have mentioned one key thing, that to be in that position, and you have to develop programs that will benefit the association. And you probably put it the other side and say, EMA programs that would enable the association to produce EMA athletes.
True.
So whatever programs that you'll be talking about are programs that will benefit EMA association and the athletes. And I've said, which I want to repeat that
True.
now, that I'll be excited to be part of the team that will be working towards achieving the objective of producing good athletes in the country.
President, I think I'll make it clear. I think the relationship so far that I have with you is that, honestly, whenever I'm looking for you and looking for answers for specific things, I get answers. And then when I seek for advice, I get it. I won't run away from this question. I think everyone who's watching now is asking himself the same question.
Yeah.
Football Association has elections this year.
Yeah.
Olympic movement has election this year. I'm not trying to say you speak now for elections for Football Association, but the question is there, President, is that isn't it maybe a way to say we are moving this side and going that side? Or isn't it a way to say you are putting both in the balance? To say at the end of the day, umya story president somewhere. Angat noma iyavakala president kuthi noma ungaphuma ka football but ungaba president somewhere noma kungala ka Olympic movement ungasala ube president la, but ukhona lo mbutho la ukuthi umuntu ukutibukela nje kwanyalo yatibutha ukuthi president it's in the plan, but at the end of the day it's all about promoting sport.
I think in all honesty, you this happened. It's
coincidence.
It's not something that is unprecedented.
Yes,
it happened in 2017.
Wow.
The first elections were for Ioka.
True.
Which was 5 months before the FA elections.
Yes.
But every one of us, including you, you know that the Ioka constitution requires that if you are elected a president of Ioka and you are a president of an association, you'd be expected to resign your association position within 30 days. And that is known by everyone.
You can't hold two posts in the same time, I think, yes.
And I don't need to say anything about it because that is regulated by the Constitution.
Yes.
You know, that kind. But it shouldn't be like I'm running away
from one area to another.
Or probably I believe that it may never happen to hold those positions simultaneously. But the situation is that I've accepted a nomination to serve as a leader of the Olympic Committee. Yes,
President,
and we all know the consequences of that.
Yes. It's a big call, of course, and then I think I like that you actually explain that, because President, as sports people, we have questions, and I think this has answered question. One or two questions maybe before part of the things maybe that portrays that the importance of this position as EOC president, and if it's to take place, some of the impact that you're looking to achieve. Maybe to say you've got the position as president, you've talked about, of course, the agenda to set and everything. There's a problem of podium finishing so far in the country when it comes to our athletes. Do you think maybe this is one of the things you would want to achieve?
Yes. You are saying, we have a founder president of the Olympic movement in the country, the late Babes Band, who was the first president of the Olympic Committee. And Azombote Makakula became the second president of the Olympic movement in the country. And then currently, the current president is the third president.
Peter Shaw, yes.
And I hope to be the fourth one.
President, yes.
But
confidently sound.
All of them were guided by the Olympism principle. And when you talk about that, the key thing, you're talking about at least Sibene Mandela.
Yes.
in kuma games, you know, and ongema programs. I may not be new to it, that are in place at the Olympic Committee are towards achieving exactly that. That's why I was saying earlier that whatever we do, the most important thing is that our athletes should benefit from the situation. So and the ultimate thing is that we want to see our athletes excelling Guma Games, either All Africa Games, Commonwealth Games, Olympic Games. True. Of course, even regional games.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much, President. I think with a few minutes remaining, I've got one or two questions because I think this is an opportunity. We wouldn't lose this chance to ask you one or two questions. I think I have two questions, President. I think it's in the public eye. We received, a budget speech from Minister of Finance, Neil Reckenberg. I think the share that was given to Minister of Sports, there's not much that was changed. Nasibuga, the package itself that was given to Football Association, the package there, that's my first question. The second question is, President, under 20 if we're to host the games, there's still an issue of stadiums in the country as we speak. I think earlier on we break news President, what will be your comment on those issues? Maybe starting with the budget one for Sihlangu and the second on the issues of stadiums.
Yes, I think the issue of your budget for this year is very difficult to criticize.
True,
because the conditions that we find ourselves under. And things being equal or under normal circumstances, one would have said maybe Batlonishwa should help the ministry, EMA Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs, on this aspect we are talking about.
True.
But we cannot pretend in the country. And we are saying under the circumstances, we will try to do something within the budget that has been allocated to us. And you were talking about my issues.
Stadiums. Where today even Mavusa thing was put on a ban, yes.
Already.
Yes.
Yeah. And we are in consultation. And I had about a 30 minutes discussion with the leadership of CAF.
True.
Because that is the situation. But the thing is that CAF inspected both Mavuso and Somhlolo and okayed Mavuso to host the games. And we've been hosting games. 3 weeks before the last game we're hosting, Kule AFCON competition, they're saying, no, let us look at another venue. And we have not had people coming to Swaziland to have an inspection. So we're unhappy with that. But I think you were not asking the question. And we were in consultation with the ministry, and we are positive that something is going to come up. But I cannot guarantee whether the Guinea-Bissau game would be played, which is in the country, and that game is scheduled for end of March. But
that's already big news for us, President. When you say not be played, it won't be played on this soil, or it could be played somewhere else.
Yep. Yes, it's very difficult, because if it is somewhere else and we are looking at a neighboring country, as per the regulations, we are looking at South Africa or Mozambique, it will depend whether there is a stadium that would be ready to host us. You know, it's not an easy thing. There's just so much involved in it. You can't just go to Nelspruit and say, just to host the game. I mean, there are a lot of consultations that have to be done, because we still have the responsibility of providing security to the visiting team and to our own team. So, yes, I think we are in consultations discussing the issue, and I think the public will know as to how this situation will be handled.
All right.
Yes.
President, thank you very much for your time. Maybe one or two words before you leave. I think when a man of your caliber, a man of your status is in the studio, we always just give you a chance, a minute or two, just for members of the public, and especially those who in sports, for football. They have a lot in their minds. Yes, where can they expect? Now we heard about the issue of COVID relief. You've given teams something small. How true is it? We don't know. A word or two you can give to the supporters.
Yes, I think thank you for giving me a chance. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi iministry isibambisile. It's not an easy thing. Ema clubs now ucabanga ukuthi kusukela ngaMarch last year kuthi income lengenako, but they are still keeping the fire burning in terms of looking after their players. Siyabonga ukuthi everyone understand the situation, and the Football Association through the FIFA assistance, I think we are doing something, but that is not enough. And ban bayilambele ipola, but at the same time ngeke sikulibale ukuthi the situation that we find ourselves
yes.
it's not easy for everyone. So everywhere you go, Mr. President, ibuya nini ipola, but you know, that's shows
but khona lokuncane President ungasishare nje usaphuma ukuthi sime kuphi nje kubuyele ebholeni, because bomakhelwane bayadlala sime kuphi nje ungasishare lokuncane.
Yeah, but ngilapho maybe lapho silahleka khona ukuthi maybe lama conditions akafanani.
True.
You know, mawukhuluma ngamakhelwane nje ukhuluma ngeSouth Africa. Ibhola South Africa i-sponsored ema club athola i-grant through ema TV rights. So and ema resources ba okay, they can keep ema players out together and make sure ukuthi kude lo kanjani, that kind of thing. I mean the conditions are not the same. Gogona siyahawukela if we were to say la khaya akadlala ema clubs ethu sengawubekisa manje akudlala imbabane Highlanders or kudlala imbabane Swallows bawudlala bahamba bawudlala e-stadium. You see South Africa uyayibukela leyo match leyo ku TV.
Yes,
but in Swaziland nifuna nginibhadare nani e-stadium, you don't buy lama rights. So you like saying badlala bomakhelwane, but you can't say nine TV like anithengani lama rights so that stodlala ibukele ibhola abe lama club benefit from that. So the question here go one side.
So you are pointing fingers, President. You are saying that the reason why ibhola ngakabuye ukuthi sensitive ifuna kuyikhupha. No, asibonge President. Now you are khona kuntasixoshisa President. No, I think thank you very much for your time, and I think I hope once you come back here you will be either still the President of Football Association or the newly elected President of IOGA. One way or the other you'll be here whenever both the elections are over, because we want to hear your perspective. What are you looking forward to? If you stay as President of Football Association, you tell us when what you're looking forward. And if you come back as IOGA President, way forward, uhamba njani. Sibongela kakhulu President for isikhathi sakho.
Thank you very much.
There you have it. That was Adam Boma Msetwa, the current Eswatini Football Association president, who is running for Eswatini Olympic Commonwealth Games Association president, which means, like he highlighted, the constitution makes it clear that once you run for the seat of EOC and you win for that election, of course, you have to step down for one position of being an president of another association. So he has made a decision. He knows where he's standing. So there's no mind game that is being played from his side. Otherwise, a short break. When I come back, I'll be in the company of Linda Dlamini. We'll be talking to Erika Siama, all the way from the Republic of South Africa, a high jump athlete from the Kingdom of Eswatini, after the break.
What about your country? It's easy to play sport in your country?
Yes, it is easy to play sport in my country, and we do have support. The association does support the athletes, and that's a lovely thing, and we are so happy, you know. our king is also involved in our sports, which is also lovely. It just shows that the whole nation is part of sports. Yeah.
What about your sport in particular?
Oh, I'm a high jumper, all the way from the Kingdom of Eswatini. High jumper, yes.
When you have decided I want to be a champion, I want to play sport.
I decided year 2000 when I actually saw high jump on TV. I was like, this is what I want to do. And from there on, it's just been my dream, and I'm living my dream right now. So yes.
Sayama, Team Africa, in the women's high jump today. You've got to be pleased with that performance.
I'm very happy. It's my first time being here, so this is just exciting. And I got to jump against the greatest ever, so that was more exciting for me.
You got a boyfriend?
What a question.
You have it. That is Eswatini TV Live. We're here at hospital here. We bring you Temidlalo on a Monday, first day of the month of March. There is 2021. If you just join us on different platforms, we are welcoming you. As we said it earlier on, before we take a break, we were in the presence of Adam Boba Mtsetwa, the ongoing president of Football Association, who is a candidate for the Olympic movement. Otherwise, I'm already in the company of Rinda Dlamini and being in the studio. And I think Mbugeli ukuthi nje Master as one of our top analysts in the country was born on a special day like today, first day of the month. Happy birthday, Master.
Ngiyabonga Fabrice, ngiyabonga kakhulu ngekuthuba lokukhulumela ama loyal viewers. Fabrice, I'm humbled. All I can say ukuthi baba ngiyabonga kukhulu uNkulunkulu la ngentele kona akusiko ukuhlakanipha kwami kubala noma kuphila kulibona lela namuhla ngiyabonga kakhulu ngiyabonga ke nema message incumbi yama loyal viewers angisendele ama message namuhla ngiyabonga kakhulu Fabrice nala ngabanga kakhona ngiyathi ukuthi bebafisile nalabo bangakeva ngiyathi ukuthi bafisile ngiyabonga kakhulu ngeke nje lengingakusho
benginethuba ke langa lonke benginayo langa lonke nje as our in-house analyst and in-house journalist besebenza kanye langa lonke, but I noticed that many questions were referring to his age. Master, not your age currently, but sports. How old in the sport industry? That's what they're interested in knowing, not how old you are in the sport industry.
Ngicabanga ngifike emncane la khaya 2013 nangiqala kuba sports analyst la khaya so ngabe soyabuka ke vele ukuthi iminyaka yami icishe ila kubo 22 because last year we 21st.
Okay, so now we are joined by Erica Siyama, all the way from the Republic of South Africa. Now she's a high jump athlete, and I think it's one thing also to touch base with people like Erica Siyama, because being based in the countries like Republic of South Africa or neighboring countries does not change the fact that they are still a part of us. She's one of our top athletes. If you remember, I think the recent All Africa Games, if I'm not mistaken, 2018-2019, she managed to clinch a gold medal. So that's how big she is for the country. And as she's going to appear on the screen, I noted that she is in beautiful colors that shows that wherever she is, she still remembers home. She still misses home. I'm in the company of Rinda Dlamini Siyama. How are you? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. This is Rinda Dlamini. I think it's a chance also to say happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Ngiyaleboga.
Happy birthday.
Ngiyabonga Eric.
Yeah, thank you very much. Eric, I think earlier on I was just going through some of the achievement that you have made. And then I think one thing that I came across was during the 2019 National Sports Awards, when you walked on that stage, and that I think the pictures will show shortly, when you walked and got to collect the medal as one of the top female in the country for that year. And I think the first question that came in my mind is to say, just to share with the Eswatini at home, a brief background. Who is Erika Seyama? When did she begin? When did she begin the career of being an athlete in high jump? How far has she gone in everything? Just a short background.
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on this show. So, Kamlamu Nonhlanhla Erika Seyama. I was born in Eswatini in 1994. I did my primary school years, Sutu Forest Primary School. And then I did my first half year, and then I went to Mozambique to do from grade 8 to grade 10, and then came back to Swaziland to finish my matric at Segelo High School. I started high jump in 2000, yes. And that was when I saw the Olympics for the first time on TV. And I saw this event called high jump. And I was fascinated because I was like, how are they able to do that? Like, I was like, that is what I want to do. And I remember because I told my parents that day that I want to be a sportswoman. So in 2000, and then I was at Sutu Forest Primary School, and I was doing athletics there. So, of course, we didn't have a high jump coach, but we had the teachers helping us out. And they noticed that I was actually good at high jump, and they encouraged me to carry on. And then when I got to university, that's when I would say I started going semi-pro because I had a lot of competitions now. That was around 2014, yes. And that's when I actually started the high jump. Yeah.
And I think being in South Africa, especially where you are right now, it's school-related reasons, the university life itself. But then it doesn't take any time away from also taking your chance and then just focus on your career as a high jump athlete. How is the university life at large and being based at that site?
Well, it's really nice, I won't lie, and it gave me a lot of exposure. But at the same time, it's hard, and because I do sports and I have school, I have to be time-wise very much. But I'm so happy that the university also assists me because they know I'm in sports. I do high jump because I also represent my university here in South Africa. So because I have that support from my university, it has made things easier for me in university. I get tutors to help me out if I'm behind with work. The lectures also help me out with extra work if I'm falling behind. So it's been great in university, but also hard. So yeah, very hard. But if you're good with time management, you'll be able to cope with everything, and that's what has helped me.
Maybe one question before I hand over also to Master. He's got a question for you. Looking at the time you represented the country at All Africa Games and you came back with the gold medal at home, and then later on you I think in a press conference at Olympic offices you told us how you're looking forward to taking it to the next level. I think the part of the targets was 2020 Olympic Games, which is this year. Maybe I think COVID has played a role in affecting you. How are you now progressing with your training sessions and in your achievements under the current situation of the pandemic?
Well, it was hard, seriously hard. We got affected a lot as athletes, as human beings, to be honest. But now because some of the stadiums are open for training, we are able to see our coaches and train with them. And luckily here in South Africa, there are some league meetings which are helping us now to prepare for Olympics and also to get back to the motion of doing things and competing. But it affected me because I'm a high jumper and I need to go to the field and actually practice this technique. So when I was home during lockdown, it did really affect me. But I made sure I used that time wisely, training indoors, being creative and stuff like that, which most people did if you see online. But then, like I said, I'm very blessed and grateful that I have my university helping me out and the side in South Africa where they have competitions just to push us and get us ready for Olympics, which is still my target to qualify for the Olympics. Still working hard on it. I recently had my first competition last week, Saturday. It wasn't the greatest, to be honest, but it was okay. It was the first competition of this year. And there's still a lot of work for me to do to get to the level where I want to be. But until then, I have to continue to work hard. Yeah.
All right, let me give the birthday boy a chance to ask you one or two questions. Mr. Birthday boy, this is your chance.
Yeah, Rika, mhlambe nje umbuto ngingithule ngingakubuta yona mina yokuqala ukuthi kulukhuni kanganani for a girl's child in the kingdom ukuthi a break it through kuma sports wena siyakubona ukuthi sobe successful une medal lo itholile in Africa. My second question is we know South Africans ukuthi anjani more especially kufuna tinvo ukuthi tibe ngetabo like Vilane, the first black man to climb Mount Everest. When abakazeni bak approacher ukuthi buya ube South African who represent South Africa.
Okay, well, I'm going to first start with the second question. Actually, South Africa has helped me out to represent my country. They want me to put Swaziland on the map. When they came to me, it was mostly to help me out, to show my country that there is talent. They didn't try to poach me like, no, come this. I know they're like, you come from a special country, and we want your country to see that your country does have athletes and they are actually good. So on that question, no, they didn't try to poach me. They've been helping me out, giving me funds to travel and compete for my country. And then to the first question, it is really hard as female to break through in sports, especially for us like Eswatini, because we don't have so much representation in sports. And if you don't follow sports, you wouldn't know that we actually have female athletes who are actually good. Because sometimes we don't get the exposure as females, how I feel about it. But I think with time, we will get more exposure as females because, like I said, we have great swimmers. We have great soccer players, basketball. There's so many females doing things in sports in Eswatini, but we don't know about it. And it's hard. Even for me, when I started with high jump, a lot of people did not know me because, yes, I'm not in the country a lot, but I'm also doing an event that nobody really follows, you see. So for me to get that exposure, I had to work hard. I had to actually show people and be like number one and something like, look, here I am. I'm a black woman in this country and I do sports. And there's other black women in our country who do sports and who are so good at it and they can get far. And I wish we could get even more exposure, like in soccer. Soccer, everyone knows soccer players. But with us female, yeah, there's a few of us. And because we are few, we don't get much exposure unless you are the top, like you are number one in the world or something. Then you start getting exposure because now the whole world knows about you.
All right. Now, maybe just talking about, it's a good question, of course, coming from my colleague. And then I think another thing maybe I can add on that is that just where you are in South Africa, I think we've got one of the best golfer in the region under the women category. That is Nobuhle. I mean, I think she's there. I don't know if you keep in touch. There's also Pumuli Nzini under athletics. I think you've gone with her a couple of times. The three of you now, you are the three from the Kingdom of Eswatini, based that side. And I think it means a lot. What type of image does it maybe, do you think, or the courage that can you give to young people who are coming up also who want to be like you under different sporting code? They could be doing swimming, like we say. We have another young lady talented under swimming. Robin Young. I don't know if you've got a chance maybe to share some expertise with her. But the three of you, when you look at yourself, what are the advices that you give yourselves to young people?
Personally, I want to say something what Pumile said to me when I started off. She said that I must be strong, mentally strong, and I could do it. She encouraged me so much, and that's why I respect her and look up to her, because in athletics, I only knew her because she was out there. But to fellow athletes, fellow female athletes who want any sporting code, do something that you really love, and also be mentally strong, because you will face so many challenges, you know. Even though I'm in South Africa, I still face a lot of challenges mentally, because I do find myself that maybe I'm stuck on one height and I don't know what to do. So then I have to be mentally strong. So my advice to young athletes, you have to be mentally strong and you have to love what you do, because once you love what you do, nothing will break you. Even when you fail at it, you will pick yourself up and you go back at it, because it's something you love. So do something you love and be mentally strong, and also surround yourself with other people who are doing the same sporting course, so they can advise you too and help you out, because they also have gone through the same thing that you are possibly going through. Hence, I bring up Pumni because she's been in athletics for a long time, and she's traveled and she's done everything. So for her to be by my side and to encourage me and to talk to me and be like, no, don't worry, these things happen, you'll be fine. It's really nice. And to see other girls doing amazing things in sports also just encourages me. So I feel like I also want to set an example with those others to see, hey, there's this girl who did an event called high jump and she actually went far, you know. That's what I want to be an example for those youngsters and for them to be strong.
Yeah, one or two comments now before we let you go with your other activities. I know you are a busy person. You want to also carry on with other things. Now, one or two things. How is your calendar looking like in terms of future plans and academic-wise as well? Looking at in your sporting field and in the academic area, how is the future plans looking like for you as maybe we wind up the interview?
It's looking good, to be honest. It's really looking good. Yes, we are back at school, but still doing online, and the lectures are helping us out. So they don't want anyone to fail, so it's a good thing in school. And then with sports, it's looking good in terms of training-wise, because at least back this side, I get to see my coach. And now because I do online classes, I actually do have the time to also focus more on my sports, because it's very difficult to do both things. So school-wise, it's looking good. Sport-wise, it's also looking good. I am back because I was injured for a long time. My knee is strong again. And for me right now is to improve my height from a 180 to a 185. That's what I'm looking for.
All right. Thank you very much. Good. It's a good thing to talk to you. And I think we appreciate what you just told us. You shared with us what you have currently in your hands, what you wish to dream. And I think, yeah, it's quite impressive. And I think, just keep it in mind that they are different, young, talented girls who also wish to be with like you, but they are praying for you. They are making sure that you're progressing. And I think just to congratulate you, just keep on that top. I don't know if you only wear it for interviews, but I think wherever you are, just keep it on so that you remember where you come from. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everyone who's been supporting me and helping me out. Thank you so much.
There you have it. There is Erica Sayama, all the way from the Republic of South Africa. She's one of our top athletes. I mean, maybe we quickly, before we take a short break, at her age, having achieved what she has achieved, we are moving to she dreams big, and she acknowledges that people like Pumule Nziniza, one of our long-serving top athletes, and under 100 and 200 meters, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a good thing recognizing that she knows where she comes from. And I think she's still proud of who she is. And your question, Master, South Africans are not trying to take her away from us. They're actually encouraging her to become the best in the country.
Fabrice na ungasuyanaga kule interview akhe ma-answers akhe ukhulume ngetinto letingi kakhulu but letimcoka kakhulu ngicabanga ukuthi nginakulakshito ukuthi Phumlile Nzinisa incumbi yabantu bacaba ukuthi ema-females awakwati kuhlala ndzawonye asitane, but look at her, bana Phumlile bakhonile kusitana, Seyama so winile gold in all Africa Games. Ngicabanga ukuthi the best achievement lesike saba nayo in the past last 20 or 30 years ku sport sonke nje siphelele. Kwesibili ngicabanga ukuthi ukhulu udiqhinya kakhulu ngelive laseSwatini nawuva nje ukuthi ema South Africans vele bekamchasa afuna ende kahle for eSwatini. So ngicabanga ukuthi everywhere la hamba khona uyohlale awuphakamisa lo mjeko waseSwatini. We are proud of her. Usimelela kahle and why kuma All Africa Games she was young but a very very young brave woman lo khona ukulumelela live and njengoba ngisho ukuthi ukuhamba uye kuma All Africa Games ufika uwin medal ngicabanga ukuthi it's something else.
They have it. Of course, there is Erika Sayam who's giving us an update of how things are going. Now, giving us also another update, talking about Jamie Pennington and the golf industry. He's also based in the Republic of South Africa. Seemingly, there are many outside the country. I mean, we're producing them as a country. Jamie Pennington continues to give us tips on how to play golf. Take a look at this.
Good evening, golfers, and welcome to another edition of Tea Time Tips. Today we're going to be talking about bunkers. It's an area that can frustrate a lot of golfers and prove to be very difficult. But bunker play isn't that difficult, and upon understanding the correct technique, it's actually quite a simple shot to play. So there's two things that we need to focus on. One is that the club needs to be open. So if the club would be square like that, it would open it. That's going to help the ball come out higher. The second one would be to hit the sand before the ball. In most of golf, we hit the ball and then the ground and take a divot. But in this instance, hitting the sand will propel the ball up and out of the bunker. So a nice way to practice would be to draw a line like so, and just practice hitting just behind the line, as if the ball was the line. So. And then the best way to think about it would be to try and feel yourself splashing the sand all the way to the hole. So if the hole was close, it would be a softer shot to get the sand to the hole. And if it was a longer shot, it would be a harder shot to hit the sand to the hole. If I demonstrate one, this is how it should look. That's come out the bunker high and soft and landed on the green. Let me know how that goes and good luck with your golf.
Jamie Pennington, one of our top golfer in the Kingdom of Eswatini, a professional golfer, by the way, to mention, who is based in Republic of South Africa, giving us tips. Now, I'm in the company of Master. Master, quickly, what would you just maybe, single from those tips, just to explain to Eswatini, would see this is an ongoing topic that he has actually sacrificed to say, I want to teach kids out there at home how to play golf. From what you just saw, what would you say, Master?
Firstly, for Presi, this is the third week. Sina Jamie Pennington asitshela ngama tips nalabaqala eGaluva. So le response ngiyayithanda ke mina ku interact nema loyal viewers kakhulu le response ngicabanga ukuthi inhle kakhulu. They are very very happy and namhla bekasifundisa labanengi bayabacabanga ukuthi kushaya le bhola nayilapha emhlabathini kulula kakhulu kanti ngila kulukhuni kakhulu than kulapha kulo green because kunalomhlabathi and awushayi ukhuluma ke Jamie Pennington ukuthi awushayi le bhola ushaya lo mhlabathi bese ushaya le bhola. In fact nale club yakho uyayilalisa awivusi like ngesikhathi uyishaya le bhola uthi off but uyayishaya uyayilalisa bese soshaya lo mhlabathi ushaya ibhola then uthole your beautiful shot, but it is very 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 difficult kudlala lapha.
They have it. And of course, for the viewers, when you started the show, we're in the presence of the president of Football Association, Adam Tsepa. In the few minutes or seconds we have, Master, ingazi yanze kakhulu lenza bungakayi ilobole kancane. Ukhulumile president ukuthi ngendeka sebebethe igame ye Guinea Bissau la. Indzaba ema ground, Master, say concern. Umuvila kuma president ungathini, Master?
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi emalwelo viewers aswachazele because ngenteka bakhona labangeva. Eswatini itawo hosta ema qualifiers AFCON neGuinea Bissau ku emavikini lamabili letako. So Eswatini sakhumbula ukuthi somhlolo wabenishwa by CAF ukuthi akasiko fit costa ema international games asema games ongekadlalelwa amavuso. Amavuso ke bekusolo kusentshintiswa yena for the past 2.5 years. Unfortunately namhla kuphuma statement lesithi naye emavuso akasekho fit ukuthi angahosta ema international games.
What's the president? No one came to observe the ground master. Kusho ukuthi yena uvangaza ukuthi this decision unfair ku, but ndawusebenzisa expertise yakho master ukuthi ikhafi unfair in noma the timing very wrong for us.
In fact Fabrice uthi president of Football Association kude lofikile, but ngikubuka kwami nekuzama analyze tinvo not so long ago young Buffaloes beyidlala lapha bekunema referees,
so report yafika ukuthi the ground match
ifikile ukuthi li ground beli kanjani, but ke Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi a detailed analysis stayenda testing alokusivile lokuthi isihlangu staw hostwa kuphi, because nangabe somhlolo ngasifit mavusa ngasifit chose siyembombela.
There you have it. It is a familiar ground for some of the players like Felix Benenhorst and other players based in the Republic of South Africa like Banele Skonze in Bombera. But if we are to host a game there, what does it mean for Eswatini? We don't have a ground currently that is at the CAF standard. We're not talking about FIFA standard because there's CAF standard. In fact, there is COSAFA standard. COSAFA standard to CAF standard, then to FIFA standard. Otherwise, for the viewers who have been watching Temidlalo on a Monday, the 1st of March, the year 2021, this is how we conclude the show. You can always catch the show every time you log on your YouTube channel, and just do not forget to subscribe to make sure that you get a notification. Otherwise, for those who miss this show on your regular school channel, there's always a repeat the next day from 8 in the morning. Temidlalo. Sidlala kamnanzi.